Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we've got a really significant set of sources lined up. We're focusing on patient advocacy, education, and importantly, that holistic support piece for people dealing with rare conditions, especially Waldenstrom's Macroglobulinemia, or WM. And we're not just, listing things off. The goal here is to pull out the core knowledge you need to manage what can be a pretty overwhelming health journey. And we absolutely have to mention the date today. It's Friday, October 10th, 2025. It's World Mental Health Day.
Yes.
So we're really going to look at everything today through that lens, supporting the whole person, because that mental load with rare diseases, it's significant.
That's a perfect frame, actually, because if you look at the sort of the mission woven through these materials, especially from the IWMF, it's exactly that. It's about supporting and educating people affected by WM to improve outcomes and pushing forward the research for a cure.
Great.
It's this dual focus, high-level science, yes, but also the essential human support structure.
Okay, great. So let's unpack some of this. First up, we have the October 2025 issue of the IWMF Torch magazine. That's issue 26.4, the latest one. And it really jumps right into clinical insights. Beyond the usual updates, the Medical News Roundup gets into new clinical trial data, and they also detail the new IWMF-funded research projects starting up in 2025. Pretty exciting stuff.
It is. And what's really key is how they make complex science, well, understandable, actionable even. For instance, there's a featured article on the TP53 mutation.
Yes.
Now, you don't necessarily need to grasp all the molecular details, but the takeaway, the important part, is that this mutation affects how the disease might progress, and crucially, it helps guide which treatments might work best.
Right, so it's knowledge that empowers you in discussions with your doctor.
Exactly, that shared decision-making piece. It helps you move from just being treated to, actively participating in your care plan.
And speaking of getting that knowledge out there, there's a big announcement from the Waldenstroms Macroglobulinemia Foundation of Canada, the WMFC. They're hosting their free 2025 virtual educational forum.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it's coming up November 14th and 15th. Runs in the afternoons, Eastern Time. And they've really focused on accessibility sessions are in both French and English.
That's fantastic. Opening it up to a much wider audience internationally.
Definitely.
And, connecting that idea of global access back to World Mental Health Day. Today's theme, we really need to talk about the Rare Barometer Survey.
Ah, yes. That's in here too.
It is, and it's such a powerful tool for advocacy, I think. It gathers that direct human experience data, which is so vital for pushing for better policies and support systems.
What really struck me were the questions they're asking. It's not just about symptoms. They're digging into how people cope day to day with stress, what support networks they actually rely on, and maybe most importantly, how they manage to learn, work, contribute, live their lives while dealing with a rare or undiagnosed condition. It's about the whole person.
Exactly. It recognizes that living well isn't just about managing the illness. It's about maintaining your life, your identity. And that's why the reach of this survey is so critical.
Yeah, right.
It's open globally. Anyone with a rare or undiagnosed condition, their family members too, and it's in 25 languages. This kind of data, it moves beyond just stories. It gives real leverage to argue for tailored solutions.
So if you listening want to add your voice to that data, the deadline is November 16th. Definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely.
The sources also highlight some really positive community energy, reinforcing that resilience idea. There's mention of collaboration at the Lymphoma Coalition Global Summit in Amsterdam.
Mustering those global links, yes.
Which is great for advocates connecting. But then there's these individual stories, too, which are often so powerful. Like the example of Deborah Kelly, a young WM co-leader.
Right, I thought that.
She competed in the IWMF Global Fitness Race in Toronto, a really demanding event, and she finished 13 minutes faster than her previous time.
Incredible. That's such a potent symbol of strength, isn't it? Of perseverance. It really speaks to taking agency, taking control where you can.
Exactly. And local efforts, too, like IWMF volunteers at the Wilmot Warrior Weekend in Rochester, New York, just making connections, raising awareness.
All of that feeds into mental well-being, that sense of control, fighting the helplessness that can sometimes come with a diagnosis. Now, maybe we should shift gears a bit to help translate that feeling of agency into, let's say, practical life management, reducing stress through knowledge. Because the sources cover some really essential administrative and legal education, too.
Yes, let's get into the practical strategies. First up, there's a Medicare webinar from the PAN Foundation. That's coming up soon, Tuesday, October 14th, 1:00 p.m. Eastern.
Ah, timely. Open enrollment season.
Exactly. And this webinar tackles the real nuts and bolts, why open enrollment is so important, how you actually compare plans effectively, ways to potentially save money on healthcare and meds, and importantly, what changes are coming down the pike for Medicare in 2026 that you really need to be aware of now.
That proactive planning is key for reducing financial stress.
Definitely.
What else is there for navigating the system? There's something from Triage Cancer.
Yes, and this one is huge. It's their Triage Cancer conference.
And it's free.
Completely free, and it's online, happening Saturday, October 18th.
What's the focus here? It's not medical, right?
Not at all. This is all about the non-medical stuff that can honestly be just as stressful. Think health insurance complexities.
Like picking plans, appealing denials, that nightmare.
Exactly that. Also, accessing paid leave, especially important for caregivers, applying for disability insurance, or appealing if you're denied.
That's huge. Disability claims are notoriously difficult.
They really are. They also cover estate planning, medical decision-making, like advanced directives, and managing medical bills and finances to avoid, financial toxicity.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that financial and legal stress, it's debilitating. It can be as bad as the physical symptoms sometimes.
Without a doubt. So learning how to navigate insurance appeals or understanding disability applications, this conference could literally save you thousands of dollars or months of heartache.
Just knowing the right forms, the right language to use.
It's incredibly empowering. This might be one of the most immediately impactful resources on the list for many people.
Okay, definitely flagging that one.
Now, shifting back slightly to clinical education, but still very practical, there's a cancer care webinar on CAR T cell therapy. That's Wednesday, October 22nd, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Right. This one's in partnership with Research to Practice, and it's aimed specifically at educating patients about CAR T cell therapy for non-Hodgkin lymphoma. For anyone unfamiliar, CRT, in simple terms, involves reprogramming a patient's own immune cells, their T cells, to recognize and fight the cancer. It's really cutting-edge stuff.
Wow.
And this session is led by Dr. Neil Love, who's very well known. It'll cover how it works, what the options are, potential side effects, and managing them. And again, that key theme, how you can be an effective partner in shared decision-making about this kind of advanced therapy.
Building on that idea of partnership, the Lymphoma Research Foundation, LRF, they've got 2 webinars highlighted here that look excellent. First, recognizing that huge mental strain on families. There's a program specifically for care partners.
Yes, very important.
It features Dr. Hannah Rose Mitchell, a clinical psychologist. She talks about the unique, often kind of invisible challenges caregivers face and gives practical tips for advocating effectively, but also for, self-preservation.
That sustainability piece is critical. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Exactly.
And their second LRF program is timed for Veterans Day. It covers resources specifically for current and former military members.
That's crucial.
It is, because it delves into lymphoma risk factors potentially linked to service, and importantly, clarifies benefits under the PASI-T Act.
Okay, remind us what the PASI-T Act is.
Sure. It significantly expands VA healthcare and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances during service. So for any veterans listening who have lymphoma, understanding this act is really vital for accessing support.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered clinical updates, practical life management, insurance, legal stuff. Let's pivot now fully towards self-care and holistic support, bringing it right back to World Mental Health Day.
Yes, because this isn't just about treating the disease, is it? It's about supporting the mind and the body together. Integrative wellness, complementing the standard medical care.
Right, and sometimes it's the simple things. The sources mention a guide from the American Institute for Cancer Research on healthy snacks.
With like 30 dietitian-approved ideas.
Yeah, and sometimes just taking control of something small, like what you eat, can give you back a little sense of order when your body feels chaotic.
That's a great point. Agency in small things. And then there's the emotional processing side. Hope Connections for Cancer Support has a session called Expressive Writing as Self-Care on October 15th.
Expressive writing. Tell me more about that.
Well, the idea is that dealing with a serious diagnosis involves a lot of complex emotions, grief, fear, maybe even trauma. And creative outlets like journaling, writing personal stories, even poetry can provide a way to navigate those feelings, to untangle them, reprocess them, things that maybe don't get addressed in a typical doctor's visit. It's structured emotional exploration, really.
That makes a lot of sense, a pathway towards healing. And then finally, the IWMF itself offers some fantastic integrative wellness programs, and they're free for patients and caregivers.
Yes, they're Zoom classes, really accessible.
Exactly. They list upcoming sessions for chair yoga, slow flow yoga, yoga nidra, which is like a guided deep relaxation.
Very restorative.
Mindfulness meditation, and even low-impact cardio, something for different energy levels.
And the best part,
the accessibility, right?
Yeah.
If you can't make the live class because of your schedule or just how you're feeling that day.
They're on the IWMF YouTube channel.
Exactly. Self-care literally on demand, whenever you need it.
It really underscores that theme of empowerment through access and knowledge. All this integrative work, the movement, the emotional expression, it directly supports living the best quality life possible with WM. It's about treating the whole person for the best outcome.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it feels like we've mapped out a whole ecosystem of support here.
I think so. We went from the core clinical knowledge, like in the Torch magazine, through those really essential life navigation tools, the Medicare webinar, the Triage Cancer conference, and landed on the vital emotional and community support, highlighted by things like the Rare Barometer Survey, the writing class, those yoga programs. It shows that being truly well-informed means balancing medical knowledge with practical life skills and, critically, self-care.
And it's worth remembering, too, for those who want that constant flow of new medical information, the sources confirm IWMF keeps that up-to-date list of published research articles right on their website, so the learning can be continuous.
A reliable source.
Definitely. So thinking about today, World Mental Health Day, and everything we've discussed, the evidence is clear. Knowledge is power, yes, but structured support is absolutely essential for managing the mental load of a rare condition. The Rare Barometer Survey asks how people manage to live life fully. So maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener. What's one specific action you could take this week, drawing from these non-medical resources we talked about?
Yeah, just one thing.
Maybe it's checking out that LRF caregiver tool, or trying that expressive writing idea, even just for 10 minutes, or maybe just putting on one of those guided relaxation sessions from YouTube. Think about what living life fully means for you right now, and maybe dip into one of these resources to help you get there.